Morning, guys. Welcome to the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. My name's Mike Pomeroy, and you got Ryan over here.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
Yeah.
Morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Well, what's up, man?
Well, the Unrivaled Potential Podcast is brought to you in part by Pipe and Torch Coffee, the plumber's coffee.
Cheers.
Yeah. That's good.
It's like a Big Mac and Coke. And ah. Yeah.
Is that an old commercial or something?
Yeah, it must have been really old because I remember it, and we didn't have TV past. We didn't have TV past 12 years old, I think.
That's probably in the time when I didn't have TV. So, if you want your kids to grow up to be successful business owners, take away TV, because we both went years without television as kids, and look at us now.
Yeah. Perfectly normal. Yeah.
Yeah. we were just talking about how normal we are.
Yeah. So I haven't seen you, 5 days? 5 days, which is pretty odd for us.
Yeah.
You had a birthday in your household
couple.
And your young wife. That's
my wife
for you.
She's way too good for me. Turned 25 and yep. Got away. I had my first resort massage experience, or for about a day and a half I did nothing. The only thing on our schedule was the massage appointment, and that was good. And I realized two things. One, I really enjoy that. It's great to get away and do nothing. I had more quiet, reflective prayer and meditation time than I've had probably in the last year in one day. But then about day 1.5 or so, I was like, all right, let's go do something, explore something. So I'm still working on that ability to shut off and relax.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I haven't been that relaxed in a long time. And Gateway, Colorado is beautiful. You should check it out. I was thinking, you were talking about corporate retreat. If we don't go to like Mexico or something like that, Gateway's right there. 2-hour drive, and you feel like you're 1,000 miles away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
they have a spot for kind of like that for.
Oh, it's a huge 150-acre resort, and they've got the spa and restaurants, and we had a hot tub in our room, and it was pretty awesome.
Oh,
put you in contact with my people over there.
Yeah. Let me know.
And it'll probably cost us half of what it would cost to.
Well, especially by the time you fly to everyone down.
Fly everybody
bring in
to
John
Florida.
Maxwell for motivational speaking or something.
That would be awesome. I'd love to meet that guy. I've only ever read his one book, but I listened to a lot of his short speeches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's always popping up in my LinkedIn feed.
He is the type of person that I listen well to. I absorb more from the way that he speaks better than I do with some people.
Yeah.
He is very gifted in that. He's just not super excitable, but he still goes up and down, so he's not monotone and boring to talk or to listen to. And
you should spend more time.
Yeah. I did get to meet him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, when I was at the last Amway conference.
Well, that's cool. Oh man. Yeah, I can see how. Come to think of it, I think my parents got to see him speak at an Amway convention.
Yeah, he did it every year.
A few decades ago.
Yeah, he was always a big advocate for that in regard of what it is, I guess.
Well, a lot of those guys, him, Robert Kiyosaki, and some of the other Zig Ziglar and stuff like that, whether they get involved with Amway or any other multi-level marketing or any of that stuff, they see the value in the entrepreneurship mindset and the growth mindset that those kind of organizations promote, because it's not your typical, hey, go to work for 25, 30, 40 years, get a pension and a paycheck and retire to mediocrity and hopefully you get to go to Boca once a year or something.
Right.
I don't know if Boca's the spot, but anyway, that's the other cool part of being a part of one of those organizations is getting to see those world-class speakers in person talking to you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's work on growing our organization so we can.
Big enough to where it's just all our employees.
Yeah, absolutely.
1,200 people just there.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, this is kind of a transition, but a couple of other businesses that we know and work with a little bit have expressed interest in collaborating for some sales training. So I think we need to put that on the calendar because our guys, can always use more, and some of these guys, they have new people who couldn't sell, ice to a man in the desert.
There's a couple of companies that I found
Mm-hmm.
that will definitely actually come to your shop, especially if you have enough people, you can split the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Or multiple businesses, and they do hands-on training as well as continued after the fact. I have found some that work specific. Some of them are trade
specific, yeah.
Yeah.
Plumbing.
Trade Pacific compared to Trade Atlantic, but so trade specific.
Did you put a little cinnamon in your coffee?
Yeah. Home services basically is where that's what I've been trying to. I found it's easier to train the guys in specific to that because it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's things that don't cross over, but most of them do. But right now it's better to train the guys in just the home services sale type of thing.
So here's
what I also have is, speaking of that though, I met a guy on the airplane last night who I offered a job to. who's got sales training and some, but he wants to learn more, and so we were to do something like that.
He's a home services technician, or
no, he works for the. He's a firefighter and then a butcher. Super nice guy, and started talking to me I started talking to him on the airplane, which is normally how it goes. But he has a very
what? Mike made a friend.
Yeah, he's got a really handsome face and quiet personality, and that kind of thing right there that sells, right? So
I don't know, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't work for me, but.
So he's going to be the house butcher, or he's going to be your salesman?
I would bring him in as moving into BCI stuff, getting into the Unrivaled shower and bath side. And then if he wants to learn some trade skills as well, if he wants to be cross-trained, right now he doesn't have much construction experience. They don't necessarily need that. So
right.
I could cross-train him in HVAC sales so he knows what he's doing. But anyway, I just liked his personality. And I definitely want to find a really skilled person. But you can train someone in that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But did you have more thoughts to go with collaboration, or was that just a reminder to talk about that afterwards?
Well, two things. One, we should let's not let this just be an idea. Let's actually do it because I think like we were talking about, our guys can always use more training and more tools in their bag when it comes to going out and selling, because they're all pretty new at it.
Yeah, and I don't. And what the hard part with me is, neither one of you and I aren't new at it. I just don't know how to train it. Like training plumbing is one thing, because I can explain it all the way the depths down. But sales training, I've just done it automatically,
right?
And I don't know how to teach it.
Yeah, somebody who's just a naturally good salesperson, it's tough to communicate that to somebody who's never done it before, or maybe they got those gifts, they just haven't cultivated them yet.
Right.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I've been through about 1,000 different sales trainings, so I can at least give them the 101 version, or if not 102 and 3. But the other thing I was thinking about is, what do you think about taking guys kind of back to the basics, and instead of focusing on sales training, help them focus on personal development? And I know you've done a little bit of this, but maybe refocus that, because I feel like if we teach them things like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, principles, how to win friends and influence people, things like that, that aren't sales oriented, but they are about making these men better men.
Right.
That might help us alleviate some of the other ailments that plague us.
Well, I think that's part. part of it's, the accountability of finding out why it's worth it. And then they got to want it bad enough too, because I've got all the tools here, got all the books. Now, what I'm learning is most men don't read.
Oh, yeah.
They really don't. Audible books is basically the route that they have to go down. But then you have to have enough time to listen to it. And so if you don't value that, then it's finding the right guys. But no, I agree. Some of the notes that I wrote down yesterday in this last few days of somewhat frustration was,
Mike had a hell of a weekend.
yeah, how do I change it? Right. And it's promoting that, but it's also then going, this is the direction our company's going. And I was talking to a really great friend of mine on Monday, I think, and I was telling him some of the new numbers that we've got and how much what the guys can make, and he's like, "That's nuts, Mike." It's like, if you imagine if somebody, 4 or 5 years ago had said this is what you could make if you hit here, we'd have hit it every year. And I was like, yeah. I was like, absolutely. And I never would have quit. Right. I kept working for him. There would have been no reason to leave. If I found out I could make $250,000 a year being a plumber, all I had to do was do my job every day to the best of my ability. And then
that's crazy talk.
And I was doing it anyway, but I was anxious about it because I was waiting to get fired, And I mean, just because of the bosses that I had, I'm sitting there going, like, I know there's guys out there that want this, but some of them aren't motivated by money, but it's because of their self-doubt, right? And it's that same fear that I have even now. I've got to battle it of, if I take things to the next level, it means I have to go to the next level. And I don't know what the next level looks like. What does it mean then? Does it mean being sober and losing all of your friends, right?
Oh, for these guys.
For these guys, I mean, I've had those thoughts too. Like,
I was like, I've been sober for 15 years.
Yeah. How do I jump into something like this? Am I going to stop being one of the guys? Right. That was a big one in this last transition for me, which is, what's the date today?
23rd. April 23rd.
In 3 days, it'll be 6 months. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. So
cheers to not drinking.
Yeah. So anyway, there's those fears, and I know these guys got them too, and they just got to sit down long enough with their heads on straight to be like, okay, this is where I want to go. And it takes a guy coming in, and this is where calming down and not being angry about it, because nobody listens when you're angry. Because there was, and there's a part of me that misses the power that I feel when I'm angry. And I think that's where I was telling you on the phone that I was like, yeah, you guys think I'm a nice guy. This guy's been hiding in the shadows, meeting this, meet Jekyll and Hyde. It's kind of, it's like, oh man, and then it brings back that whole fear thing, right? Of I don't want to just go around and threaten people for their jobs.
Right.
I just want to encourage people, and I never want to hinder someone from loving Jesus based off of my reaction. And so that was the huge conviction for me of, how do I do this and say, yeah, I can be a strong man and say, this is non-negotiable. I will give you the tools. I'll help you do it, but this is what you have to do. Now I'm done. And that's okay. Those are just strong boundaries, just like a relationship. And this, with my guys, is a relationship of I want their best. And some days I don't get their best because they gave their best the night before. Yeah, and then I get whatever I get the next day if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
and I don't want that.
Or you get
our relationship cannot work this way. I will give you everything I've got to succeed in life and be the best for your children and your family, but I expect the best.
Yep, and it's so tough to, with love, communicate. Hey, I love you. If I let you keep doing this, I'm not showing love to you. I'm enabling you and helping you. I'm helping you burn your life.
And I'm getting angry inside too. I'm sitting there getting irritated. Like, I had to get called out by the office a few weeks ago for being kind of an ass on the phone. And they called me out, and I changed my behavior, called and asked for forgiveness. It's the same thing. We just have to it's okay to change. As long as you've got an environment where it's okay to change, and most people are willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they feel like they lose their identity. But if your identity is in being a gruff idiot, well then it's like, well, nobody likes that anyway. That you just think they do.
Yeah, really, nobody likes that. They might think it's funny sometimes, but they don't really want to spend quality time with somebody who is just a sarcastic asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we communicate to these guys? Hey, this is what's best for you. I want what's best for you. I want to help you in every way I can, and do these things. You're going to be wildly successful, and everybody's going to be happy. And if you choose the other road, like, that's fine. We'll go find somebody who will.
It just means that we're not a great fit, and it's a hard thing to say because it seems like it's saying, I want to get rid of you, but you're really not, and it just means you're setting up that boundary that goes, I know I'm watching you self-destruct and not grow. I don't want you to. We may not be the best fit. I want you here, and then this is the only way for us to get to the next level where I'm not getting angry moments, and we're doing the things that we've set out to do.
Mm-hmm. God may have put some of these employees in your life in order to help you cultivate your patience and your wisdom.
So. I was talking to Andrew about that just a while ago. He goes, what do you like to do in life? And I have found one of my main reasons for not wanting to want to go start the next branch and have it successful, but not to be back in the field with it, is based off the fact that I get so much joy out of taking these men and seeing how far I can encourage them to actually come up. And I'm getting good at it. And I obviously have lots to learn in this. And some of these are conversations that could be considered combative. That's the word I'm looking for.
Well, confrontation.
Confrontational. There you go. They're confrontational conversations that could be negative, and I could be perceived as a person that I'm not in those moments because I'm bringing up something like that, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that. But learning how to have those, I've had more confrontation in the last 2 years successfully than I have in my entire life because I avoided it for so long.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Now I don't avoid it. And I'm doing that in my personal relationships as well as my work relationships. And it's so successful because in anything, if I do it right, they see my heart. And they see the purpose behind it. And they see what I want for them. And I just have to understand. So it's every time it's encouraging myself to just keep being this person. So I really enjoy encouraging men to move forward. And that's the 5% in me that I didn't know that I had. I'm cultivating as I'm stepping back and just going, no, you do that. It's not out of laziness. It's out of, I want you to do that.
Yeah.
And you do it. And you feel good about yourself. I've already done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can get them to stick around long enough, they hopefully will grow to appreciate those confrontations and the hard conversations that, they may see as a pain in the butt right now, but hopefully as they grow into it, they'll see, wow, geez, Mike he was trying to help me step up into a new role and make more money, be a better dad, be a better employee, all those fun things.
And the reality is, if the conversations go in a negative realm or negative direction, it's either because I communicated it poorly, but they should know better because they know me well, or
that always works.
Yeah, right.
You know me well enough to know I wouldn't be an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was nice like that.
Yeah.
And so they should see it like that, or they're just not ready to hear it.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I'm tired of being around unteachable people. Unteachable people are expensive.
Oh.
Yeah.
A good plumber's expensive, but they're a lot cheaper than an unteachable plumber.
Right. Bringing in somebody that's an older generation plumber and having them go, I don't do tablets. It's like, that means you're unteachable. It's not just as simple as I don't do tablets. It means I can't show you anything else either.
Right. Absolutely.
And that is the part that I can't stand. So when I have an interview, I make sure I ask that, like, this is what we do. It's not just for playing solitaire and sitting in front of your TV watching Gunsmoke in the evening. Like you need to learn this as a tool that makes you money. If you can't adapt to this, you'll never adapt to the new boilers.
Yeah,
you'll never
absolutely.
adapt to ProPress. You'll still be on solder, right? Which is okay. Some of those guys that solder are way faster than we are with ProPress. Just they've done it for 40 years.
Well, yeah.
But I need things to change, because if you can't change that, most plumbing companies adopt an older way of thinking, and then the culture matches it, and then they're work by the hour employees. And if you can't change your mindset, then you're not going to work here.
Yeah. Yep. And we want to attract those people who are growth mindset, as opposed to, no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I am who I am. I'm not going to change. Those are the most fun people to deal with in the world, right? Whether it's
people should be happy with me. I wish that was the case, but at some point, I've had to look at myself so many times and go, "Why don't
I'm not happy with me. Why would they be happy with me?" Yeah, having at least that self-awareness of I am a flawed human who needs grace and needs to grow and become a better version of myself. If you can find people like that, like you said before, you can train the hard skills. It's those, even just the desire or the recognition that they need it, that you can do any job, whether it's in the office, in the field, advertising and marketing, whatever it is, as long as they've got that mindset of teach me, show me something new. I'd love to learn. Those are fun ones to have. That's why you had such success hiring guys who either never done plumbing or only done a little bit, right?
I was, finding good guys, it's a big part of who they are personality wise, but then, working hands on with them at that point worked out really well. I'm nervous about hiring a green person right now, just based off the fact that nobody teaches quite as well as I do, or if they do, they can teach some really bad habits. So I'll be careful with some of the guys I bring in, knowing, whether I find another green person, because everyone likes the guy that's, once again, if you're an older plumber, you get a younger guy that really busts his hump, you respect that. And then you can teach him.
Mm-hmm.
Just having a bunch of older guys that are skilled doesn't always work. And
yeah, you don't want too many old dogs, and you don't want too many gophers, because neither one's a good fit. So adding one old dog, maybe next one's a young trainable guy, and maybe you need another.
They just need to be willing to teach, and they've worked hard, and I am at plumbing and HVAC. I am a good teacher, and that has been beneficial. But that comes from working at the university and going through trade school, and then having such a variety throughout my working career. And when I worked when I was working for another company, the last company I worked for, they were always sending me apprentices. So in the space of 2 years, I trained 3 guys. And that's good experience, because you learn so much more when you're teaching someone.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm teaching my kids that now. Like, all right, you want to learn about this? Here's the book. Go learn it and then come back and teach us. Because I know when I was in the Army, if I had something I struggled with, I'd like to say I was smart enough to volunteer for it, but I'd get handed, hey, you're training the guys on this, and then I'd have to actually go learn it.
Yeah.
50 cal headspace and timing, that was a fun one. You don't want the 50 caliber machine gun to blow up in your face if you don't get the headspace and timing right. So
they make a big boom, air gust.
No, literally like blow the metal out, and people lose fingers and eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, not just a big air gust.
Not a big gun.
No, it's okay. That's what I love about my work now. Like if I make a mistake now, it's never life or death. It's always correctable. It's at worst we have a bad day. I was a guy who trained me 2012 when I was selling Yellow Page ads. He said, It's advertising. It's not life or death. I was like, I can do this. You know? Then you can tell it to the guys, hey, it's plumbing. It's not life or death.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing heating for an old person who's going to freeze to death. And then it's life or death. So get it right, boys. All right, Mike. I think that's all the time we have.
Yep.
Thank you to Pipe and Torch Coffee. I've downed it all and enjoyed every last drop. And thank you to Mike Pomeroy, CEO, founder, head brain squirrel of everything Unrivaled. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Well, if you're like us, you don't have any friends, but tell people you talk to. Anyway.
Yeah, guys.
Have a good week.